We're brought to you guys by Chinook Seedery. Use the code SkippersView for 10% discount on any order out there. They have great seeds. I love them. Brett loves them. All the Skippers View team loves them. Make sure to try them out. Use code SkippersView at checkout. Let's dive right into this. I mean, we got to start with the Boston Red Sox here. Obviously, that's the title name. They've won 6 straight. In the last, since Roman Anthony's been called up, they're 32-16. This Red Sox team has came back from the dead as it looked early on in the year they were going to be sellers and not even make the playoffs. Now they're 3 games back in the American League East, firmly in the wild card, up 2.5 games. The Red Sox right now, they're the hottest team in baseball in the last month. They are cooking and rolling on all cylinders right now. I mean, Roman Anthony, just since July 1st and 107 plate appearances, he's got a 161 WRC plus, 1.3 F4. He has been phenomenal. He has fully shown out and shown that why he was the number 1 prospect in all of baseball. What are your thoughts here on the Red Sox, Brad? Obviously, coming from a Yankees fan.
I think that we kind of both knew, and not just us, the entire market knew, like Boston, they were a machine that was coming with all this youth. Like they weren't going to miss on a bunch of these prospects. And Roman Anthony looks all the part. Ceddanne Raphael looks the part. We'll see how this team develops year over year after this year. But they went out and they went and got Garrett Crochet. They got their guy. They went out and signed Bregman. They signed Story a few years ago. And Story's like the aftermath of this team, right? And like they moved Devers, and they're still continuing to ascend. They're right now in the plus minus differential. They're 6th in all baseball. They're behind the Brewers, Cubs, Yankees, Tigers, and Phillies. And the Yankees were kind of dominating all year, and now they stink. And the Red Sox have taken this division by storm. And I think it's really makes it up for a shakeup here in the AL East. Now they're only 3 games back on Toronto. I think that Toronto, they did some good things at the deadline, and they're a really good team. I don't know if they're going to be able to hold off Boston if they keep playing like this. Boston looks amazing right now. And they have the pitching. They got some relievers. Kind of scared. The Yankees, I don't think are going to win the division anymore. That's one thing. I was going to make that my hot take later, but I'm not going to make that my hot take. That's dumb. They're super good though. Do you think the Red Sox could take the American League?
I mean, I saw your hot take that was going to be that the Yankees were going to win the division, and I was going to respond with that I was going to take the Red Sox to win the division here. I'm not that high on the Toronto Blue Jays. I know they're a great ball club. I haven't really been high on them all year. I didn't think they'd be this good. I have to give them give credit where it's due there. But I look at these rosters of the Red Sox and the Blue Jays, and I got to take Boston there. If there's an injury, like if Giolito stops pitching the way he's been lately, or if a Crochet goes down, I think my opinion changes drastically, and I'll probably go Toronto then. But I can't pick the Yankees right now. I know they just had that rough stretch that we're talking about here in a second, and Aaron Judge was out for all of it. But this Yankees team, they don't do any of the little stuff good. It's the same stuff as last year when it was in the World Series, where it was, how is a team making it to the World Series? It doesn't seem like they're a great baseball team. Like they have a good record and stuff, but they can't run the bases. They can't do the little stuff on the field. They can't play defense. If you can't play defense and you can't run the bases, I can't be in on you as a team.
Yeah. Not knowing the fundamentals in pro baseball, it's embarrassing. Simple as that. Right now, Yankees they had a game taken from them yesterday, that walk off by Texas. They're playing them right now in a close game. Who's to say who's going to win? But I think the Yankees, they got Judge back tonight. That's the good news. And a part of me, you know what? I'm going to make it my hot take. I'm going to say the Yankees 5.5 games back, August 5th now. I'm going to say they take the division. The reasons why, and we'll just jump to my hot take. They kept Cam Schlittler, hard last name. They kept him. They have Max Fried, who is his season has been like kind of derailed from this blister. And you got Rodon, you got Will Warren, who kind of looks more and more comfortable each and every start. The bullpen pieces have not panned out yet that they did at the deadline. And in fact, it's been kind of a tragedy. And Jake Berg got sent down. I think that they're all going to come together. It's too good with Luke Weaver, Bednar, Devin Williams, Mark Leiter Jr. I think that they're just going to figure it out. And then you look at the bats. You're getting Aaron Boone needs to figure out a lineup that works with a healthy Stanton, a healthy Aaron Judge, Jazz Chisholm. You just acquired Ryan McMahon. Volpe had a really heads up double tonight where he took first and it was like a blooper over short and he ended up taking second. I think if Volpe gets his act together, and then that's not including Bellinger, who's been playing awesome all year. Goldschmidt, he's saved the defense a lot at first base. If he turns the bat up a little bit with Ben Rice, who's been honestly fantastic this year for what we were expecting out of Ben Rice, the Yankees lineup, and I'm not even mentioning Slater, who they got the platoon, and Trent Grisham. There has, and Austin Wells, there has to be a winning formula somehow with this roster. It's too talented not to make, an American League run, let alone a World Series run, in my opinion. That's my hot take. Lock it in.
I mean, I can't argue the fact of the talent that there is on this team, especially when there is like a Garrett Cole's not there this year. I mean, that's a big part. I think a lot of people forgot about that he hasn't had a start for him yet this year, and I think this team's very different if he's on the team this year. But you can't deny the talent. I can't buy into what the Yankees are doing right now. I know I'm saying this off the heels of they probably just played their worst baseball all year without Aaron Judge too, who's maybe the most impactful player in baseball besides Shohei Ohtani when he's hitting and pitching. It's just I can't pick a team and trust them down the stretch, trust them in the postseason when you just have defensive flows every single game, and then you're just very shaky. You can't run the bases. I mean, Jazz Chisholm, what the hell is he doing on that? I get he's going to drop it, try to get rid of the speed there. I'm going to go to second base, but just get on first base. Like, he's just doing way too much, man. Just, if he does it, so what? It barely happens in baseball where the dude purposely drops it and it's not an infield fly and he just trade the speed there. And if you're going to do it, you can't be so far off where you're going to be thrown out of first base, because that was that was a bonehead play. I don't know any other way to put it. So I respect your take there, but I can't agree with you on that one there.
No, I'm a hopeless Yankee fan. I'm just hoping that some could happen, because realistic with these contracts, I don't know, like maybe next year with Cole, and we don't know how he's going to return. Is Aaron Judge ever going to be able to win a World Series with this team? Not with Aaron Boone managing the way he is, and not with the current roster setup and lack of development. They need like guys like George Lombard and Spencer Jones to get here ASAP. That being said, we could jump off. Actually, one last thing about the Yankees. Marlins now, after their sweep of the Yankees, are the only team in the MLB with a winning record historically against the Yankees. Isn't that kind of insane?
I mean, I thought that was pretty crazy. I believe it was a pretty low amount of games just because of how new the Marlins franchise is, and before the new schedule and stuff, they weren't really playing the Marlins that much. But it's still honestly a very impressive feat. I mean, for the most decorated franchise in North American sports. But in the Marlins too, I mean, I made a bet, me and Jeb, against OC. We said the White Sox would have a better record than the Marlins by the end of the year. That has turned out as an awful bet. The Marlins have been phenomenal. I mean, they're back above 500 now. It was pretty much ever since they got swept by the Rockies, where it just felt like the season low. They've just turned it around. I mean, since that sweep, if you go from June 5th onwards to now, Kyle Stowers is the second best hitter in all of Major League Baseball, only behind Nick Kurtz. He's got 2.5 F4, a 192 WRC plus. He's hitting 314 with an OPS over 1,000. He has been one of the best hitters in all Major League Baseball this year. I believe he's fifth in WRC plus in the whole league. I mean, he's going to be getting MVP votes this year. That's how good he's been. And he kind of came, I think a lot of people, obviously we thought they were overpaid a little bit on the Trevor Rogers trade last year, but I don't think anyone saw Kyle Stowers being a top 5 player in the National League this year. I mean, it's been phenomenal to see what he's done too. Xavier Edwards, I mean, there's all these guys. Yuri Perez has been getting back from Tommy John. He's been doing good. Sandy's had a few good starts recently. Edward Cabrera's turned into a front rotation arm. I mean, he's been the Edward Cabrera that most people have been banking on the last couple of years. And it seems like it's been since 2021 now that everyone's saying, oh, Edward Cabrera is going to be good, going to be good. And he's finally put it all together this year. So the Miami Marlins, you have to give them credit. They still have a chance in a wild card. I wouldn't say I like their chances by any means, just because of the teams that are firmly in there right now. But I mean, only sitting there 6 games out. I mean, we've seen crazier stuff happen this late in the season, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. And the Marlins have been playing great baseball. You got to shout them out.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's talk about the Dodgers. I feel like we haven't really drilled down on them recently. It's because they haven't been electric recently. Blake Snell, he's back though. Made his third start of the season, struck out 8 and allowed 2 runs over 5 innings of work. So Blake Snell looks like picking up right where he left off. Great news for LA. I saw Emmett Sheehan. He was starting tonight. I don't even know if their game got started yet. I'll take a quick look at that. But the Dodgers, hopefully with these guys coming back from the IL, especially on the pitching side, they start to gain some momentum heading in because we are in August, right? And I don't think that we're worried about them making the playoffs or not. I think we're worried about how they're coming into the playoffs, if they're hot or not. And that's really the question. No, they did not tee off tonight against the Cardinals. So they're starting at 10-10. So look for Emmett Sheehan. Really good young arm. He had massive surgery, just got back. This year, I think he's had a few starts so far. Hasn't been himself, clearly, but look for him to rebound. And with Snell and they get some reinforcements, I think the Dodgers are going to be, well and ready to go for the playoffs, exactly how we expected. So where are you at with the Dodgers right now, your mindset, especially because of San Diego's moves at the deadline?
I'm big on the Padres after their deadline. I mean, I placed a Padres World Series future the other day on them because of that, and I just feel good about the Padres too in the postseason. But the Dodgers, I mean, they got a 3-game lead over the Padres right now, but they're getting healthy, which is what we've talked about all year. Is yes, they have all these injuries, but the Dodgers are going to ease their way into this thing. They know they're going to make the playoffs. Their goal is to just get all these guys back, especially all these pitchers, get them ready, get them a few innings before the postseason, and then it's lights out after that. I mean, just at least roster wise and name value wise, I mean, you can't top this what you're going to face every single day in the bullpen and in the rotation if all these guys are healthy. So, I mean, if you just look at it now, I mean, you have Yamamoto, Glasnow, and Snell in that rotation right now. Especially you have Ohtani and Kershaw in there as well. So it seems like they're back on the 6-man rotation, which is big for them, especially a guy like Ohtani. Obviously, a Glasnow and a Snell coming off injuries too, so that 6-man will help. I like the Padres a lot, but I mean, the Dodgers are scary when they're healthy, but keyword healthy.
Well said. Well said. Let's quickly talk about what's going on in the standings. So let's start with the AL East. Actually, no, let's leave them for last because we covered off on them. Let's start with the NL East. So Philly's still 2 games up on the Mets. Marlins 7 games back. Braves and Nationals, their season's done. I think for the wild card in the National League, we'll just look at it that way. Right now, Cubs, Mets, Padres, Reds, Cardinals are all fighting for spots, and the Giants. Marlins are only 6.5 games back for the wild card. So if Marlins keep doing what they're doing, I don't have a lot of faith in St. Louis. Is it possible for Miami to make the playoffs in the NL?
I mean, with the way they've been playing lately, I'm going to take them over St. Louis and San Francisco maybe as well, just because San Francisco and St. Louis just got rid of their bullpens. They just traded those guys away at the deadline there. Cincinnati would be the one I would say it's going to be close with. And I wouldn't say the Marlins have a great chance to make it, but I think they have an outside shot looking in here. I look at it more in the sense of you look at the Brewers, Dodgers, Phillies, Cubs, Mets, and Padres. I just can't see a world where any of those teams miss the playoffs at this point. Granted, a team going to skid and it changes things drastically. And we're at the point now where you're going to start looking at these wild card standings pretty heavily now and see, okay, it's 3 games now. Now it's 2 games now. But this NL wild card race is, I feel like, I don't want to say it because there's still 50 games left and it's baseball, anything can happen. But I feel like these 6 teams that are in right now, I feel like are going to be the ones in there.
Yeah, I'm right now, I got the standings up here and I'm just taking a look. I tend to agree with you. I'm the one who brought up the point for the Marlins, but if Sandy becomes Sandy again in the last few starts here, who's to say? But and steals them a couple games, maybe they shouldn't win. But I think the National League is going to be super intriguing. I'll jump to the AL right now. You got the Red Sox, Yankees, Mariners, Rangers, Guardians, Royals, Angels, and Tampa Bay Rays, all within 5.5 games of each other, essentially. who do you think is the odd man out in the American League? I feel like the Royals are going to fall. The Guardians, people think could be a sleeper, but I don't see it this year, especially after moving Bieber and now this Clase dilemma. Angels, I don't think they did enough at the deadline. And I kind of like the Rays to jump up, but I don't, they got a lot of work to do if they're going to do it.
I mean, if I'm going to look at just some of these more bottom teams down the list a little bit, the Rays are my sure pick there. Team that can make that big jump there, especially just because, the talent-wise, I mean, we can see those guys can get hot. They have the talent to make a playoffs. But just looking at the top 10, obviously the Rangers are the first team out right now. But if you had to ask who the odd man out is right now out of the Tigers, Blue Jays, Astros, Red Sox, Yankees, Mariners, and Rangers, I think my opinion would change every 3 to 4 days just based on who's playing well and who's not, because the Rangers are such a frustrating team. I was in on them heavy at the beginning of the year, and then I was kind of out on them pretty heavy. And then I look back, and they're right here back in the wild card race. The Mariners I do like, especially after that trade deadline. When you get Gino and Naylor out there in the corners, two of the best hitters in the market, with Gino being the best, that's huge. And the vibes, too, in Seattle have just been immaculate. Watching a few of those games recently, it feels like they got a new energy to them, getting those guys on the team. I know I told you earlier I was in on the Yankees. I think the Yankees are still going to be there right there in the postseason. Red Sox, obviously, I think it's going to be one of these ALS teams to miss it. Out of the Astros, Mariners, and Rangers. And I know they're all pretty close to each other here. Obviously, Astros have the best shot to win the division there. But if I had to pick a team right now, I'd probably say the Rangers. And I know that's a shock because they're the first team out. But I really like the Mariners to stay in there.
Yeah, the Mariners, obviously, they just went after Eugenio Suarez and got the big – tuna at the free trade deadline. So Julio Rodriguez, I was going to bring it up later in the episode, but might as well do it right now when we're talking about the Mariners. He is now the first player ever to have started his career with 4 straight 2020 seasons. This is nuts, considering how bad of starts Julio Rodriguez has gotten off to in his career. Every year it seems like he starts off slow and then he just accumulates stats. I'm not calling him stat stuffer. Like, it's hard to stuff stats in baseball, honestly. And so it was a home run that made him have this 2020 season was also the 100th of his career. He's 24 years old. So he's the third player in MLB history with 100 home runs and 100 steals in his first 4 seasons. The other 2, Barry Bonds and Darryl Strawberry. I'm very happy I invested in a ton of Julio Rodriguez rookie cards and first Bowmans.
I mean, that's great company to be in there. I mean, it's Julio Rodriguez I know he's had a down year, and he always does that first half thing, and this year we'll still have to see in the second half if he does pick it back up and does the normal Julio where he's still a good hitter by many means, but he just isn't the Julio we see as the superstar in the first half typically. And then the second half turns it on. We don't know the story there. So I'm interested to see if that's how it works this year, or if he just kind of a down year for him. But I mean, still, if you just look at Julio Rodriguez, I know we hold him to a high standard because of what we've seen from him. I mean, MVP votes pretty much every single year he's played in. He's only 24 years old. He's going to put up a 5-win season in a down year for a 24-year-old. I know it's crazy to say because he's only 24 years old, but he's on an easy Hall of Fame trajectory at this point. I know it's hard to say that because you got to play 10 to 15 more years and keep up the pace he's at. But, I mean, he's one of the best players in Major League Baseball. And I know this year he's just been down, so you just kind of feel a little bit different about him, especially when Cal Raleigh's been the leader of that team this year and been by far the best player on that team. But he's almost gotten a little underrated in my opinion. I know he's had a down year, but this guy's still 24 years old. I mean, it's still one of the young superstars at all in Major League Baseball who hasn't even hit his prime year. He's still multiple years away from hitting his prime years on the age curve. You have to give Julio Rodriguez his props, and he's still one of the youngest, best players in all Major League Baseball.
Couldn't agree more. I'm a huge Julio Rodriguez fan. So we'll move on. Let's talk about some news and notes going on. I'll take the AL. Hagen, you can take the NL. So Boston, we brought this up last episode. Tanner Houck was in jeopardy of losing his season. Turns out he is undergoing season-ending Tommy John surgery on his pitching elbow. So devastating news. Obviously, he's not the, Garrett Crochet is the prized possession in that rotation, but losing an arm like Tanner Houck is not huge. Sorry, is not good news. I said that weird. Not good news for Boston. It's like one thing it's Tommy John. The other thing is just like they're starting to pick up steam, and they didn't acquire as many people as like Boston fans would have liked, especially starting pitching wise at the deadline. So they're playing great, and this is a type of now you see your starting rotation arm hit the shelf for a year, maybe a year and a half. Boston, I think, is kicking themselves right now for not being more aggressive at the deadline. We'll talk about New York. They signed again. They needed an arm at the deadline. They didn't get a deal done. They signed Kenta Maeda. So Maeda was released by the Tigers back in May. He had a 7.88 ERA in relief. Then he was with the Cubs. He struggled with AAA with them, 5.97 ERA, and then was released on Saturday by them, and the Yankees signed him right away. So I don't know what the Yankees are seeing here. I think Kenta Maeda might be done. Hopefully it works out. The White Sox, they placed infielder Miguel Vargas on the 10-day IL with an oblique strain. Minnesota, they placed Simeon Woods Richardson on the 15-day IL with an illness. He was scratched from his start on Sunday. Hagen, I'll pass to you.
Yeah, Atlanta Braves third baseman Austin Riley went on the 10-day injured list with a lower abdominal strain. Sucks to see that in Atlanta, especially a season where it's hasn't been the prettiest for them as a team. Milwaukee, I mean, we all know Jacob Mizorowski, the all-star for him. He was placed in the IL. He's expected to miss only 2 starts with an injury. It's left tibia contusion. Doesn't sound like a fun injury by any means, but shouldn't be too long of a time period that he's out. And then for the Dodgers, we have Tommy Edman, their infield outfielder utility guy for him. He went on the 10-day injured list too, with the sprained right ankle, which sucks for him too, especially because we've seen like in the NLCS last year and in the beginning of this year how good he can be when he's going right. And just injuries for him, it's just if he can stay on the field and be healthy. And I know he struggled a little bit after that hot start, but it just you want to see a guy like Tommy Edman on the field out there and be it right. So hopefully it's not too long for him.
Yeah. We only have had a few days in between our last episode, so that's really it for the news and notes. Let's take some look at some other eye-popping stats that we came out this week to discuss. Nice short episode today for the fans. So this weekend we had the Braves versus Reds Speedway Classic. This happened in a NASCAR stadium, drew an attendance of 91,000 people to break the all-time MLB attendance record. The crazy thing is, had the Reds and especially the Braves been better this year, I think they could have gone more and crossed 100,000 people. There were some empty seats there. It wasn't a lot, but you could definitely see the patches and the American flag that they made. It looked really cool. What are your thoughts on this, Hagen? Do you think that like anyone who says baseball is boring, like they could shove like 91,000 people aren't showing up for a boring game, especially with one who's like a non-contender this year?
I mean, I have mixed opinions on the Speedway Classic. I mean, I thought it was cool from a growing baseball standpoint. I mean, it's always fun to see them try different things too. Like the idea of, even in the beginning when they announced this last year, they were going to play in a NASCAR stadium, just the idea of how are they going to fit a stadium in there? How's the seating going to work? All that. I like that aspect of it where it's fun to think about that. And obviously it's awesome seeing the attendance record broken, which was there for a long time as well. But why are we playing in a NASCAR stadium? I get it's cool and all, but like you see stuff, the views from the seats were awful. I know you got 91,000 people in there. If you weren't right there, I mean, the people in the outfield, you were 550 feet away. If you're up there, you're probably 650 feet away from them. I mean, you see pictures on Twitter of people's angles of it. There were some you couldn't even see the field. You could hardly see the field. So I just, obviously it's cool to break the attendance record, but like out of the 91,000, probably 60,000 had good seats. I mean, not even that much, not even. It just, the optics of it, I know they can't plan on the rain, which that sucked too, especially to have the rain delays and stuff. But then they didn't have enough cheese for the nachos. They didn't have enough buns for the hot dogs. I know they didn't expect people to be there that long because the rain delays and all that. But I think the optics of it weren't great, but it was still cool to kind of see this happen.
Yeah, totally agree. Anytime baseball gets 91,000 people to join in, I think it's sick. Let's talk about your boy, the polar bear, Peter Alonso. So Peter Alonso just hit his 251st career home run. This happened on August 4th, so this was yesterday. Now he's one shy of the all-time Mets record, just behind Darryl Strawberry with 252. One, who planned on talking about Darryl Strawberry twice this episode? Kind of crazy. Number two, Peter Alonso. Do people realize the dilemma he went through this summer about his contract? He is going to be the all-time Mets home run leader. It's crazy to me the disrespect he gets, but the respect David Wright gets in terms of Met fan. Do you feel that way as a Mets fan or no?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think Pete Alonso, he gets a lot of respect from Mets fans. I think in the offseason, we got to a point where people started to turn on him just because of the way the whole contract negotiation was going a little bit. You saw some guys get a little upset at him where he grounds his own plays a lot. But, I mean, the truth of the matter is he is the best power hitter in New York Mets history. He's going to break the record here soon. If he doesn't break it tomorrow, I mean, they have 3 games in Milwaukee and then back home against the Atlanta Braves, which would be awesome to break against him. Especially when I believe that's when he broke the rookie home run record, was at home against the Braves as well. So that'd be cool to see that. But, I mean, I think he just does get a lot of hate. I mean, I think a lot of people just like to joke on him as the home run derby guy. You saw the jokes of him online. Obviously, me being younger on social media and stuff, you just see all the memes of him, and him just get made fun of a lot when it's just – he gets made fun of way too much for how good he is. And he's just a great person to do it. He has his own charities that he does. He helps people out, helps animals out. Every time he gets a home run, he donates to animal charities. He's a great guy on and off the field too. I mean, it's awesome too to see him get this. I mean, he's not even just in my lifetime, but he is the best power hitter in New York Mets history. And if he's this team, he can put this number up there to 400, 450 home runs and make sure that no one really touches that again.
Yeah. I think that Alonso's going to, especially if he stays with the Mets, he's going to crush this record for the Mets. And will be a long-time record holder for the Mets.
And I think something too that he would want to do. Obviously, he wants to be a Met long term. It seems like, because if he doesn't break it, we could easily be sitting here in 13 years and saying Juan Soto broke that record.
Possibly. Actually, very realistically, Juan Soto's there forever, and he's awesome. Let's talk about this last thing. So this guy's been brought up in the news a lot recently, and some of it's for fighting with Rob Manfred, some of it's because he's turning it on right now, and that's Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper currently has now 353 career home runs, so he entered the 350 club. This puts him in the top 100 all-time home run leaders. So it's kind of thing obviously when you think Bryce Harper, you think power, but you think overall great baseball player. And now he's top 100 all-time at 32 years old in home runs. He's going to climb this list. I don't know how high he's going to get, but he's going to climb. And right now, it's kind of fun to watch because he's 32, Judge is 33, and he's got 352 career bombs. And obviously, he's done it a lot less at bats. And then Nolan Arenado is at 351. So we got 3 active guys who are all still playing. Judge obviously top of his field. Bryce Harper also top of his field. And then Nolan Arenado, he's taking a step back for sure as age comes. But I think this is going to be cool to see where all these guys land in the whole home run all time. They're all going to be top 100 guys when it's all said and done. So who do you got leading out of these 3? It's obviously between Harper and Judge when it's all said and done. Who are you going to take?
I think I got to go Harper here just because I guess that's so hard, though, because I trust Harper to play a little bit longer, maybe I'd say, than Aaron Judge. But I guess the smart answer would just be Aaron Judge. I mean, because Harper does have the head start on him heavily, and he has a lot of pace. Yeah, I don't know why I said Bryce Harper. Aaron Judge is the right answer here. Aaron Judge is 40 years old and have 40 home runs still.
So the funny thing is, when I asked myself this question, I actually went with Harper. I was like, he's going to play more. I don't know. If Judge has 3 more seasons of 50-plus home runs, though, it's going to be really hard for Harper to track that down. But I'm being such a bad Yankee fan saying that.
I mean, even too, if you just want to take those two, if you just want to take most home runs for a player through their age 33 season in Major League Baseball, Bryce Harper sits 40th all time with 353, obviously, in 1,737 games. Aaron Judge is 42nd, two behind him with 352, one home run behind him, but in 700 less games.
That's absurd. Well, I am out of stuff to talk about for today. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up that we should tie off on? Maybe trade reactions real quick. Not trade reactions, like now that we've had a little time to think and let it sit in. Who do you think made the best move again? I know we asked this at the end of last episode, but I think that's a decision that could keep on moving.
I mean, I think just seeing Yohan Duran's impact on the team already is showing that was one of the best deals of the whole deadline for him. I mean, just the entrance alone was awesome to see. Even as a Mets fan, it's really cool to see that the Durantula entrance for him. He already broke the record for the fastest pitch ever at Citizens Bank Park in his second outing there. I mean, the Phillies have a real-time closer now, and it's scary for them when they have that now. And I think that's my favorite move that I like so far from the deadline.
Definitely the most impact so far. Definitely. I think I really like the Ryan McMahon thing for the Yankees. I think that he's gonna, do well. And like I said, this ties into my hot take, what I said earlier. I think with McMahon, he can be that missing piece that the Yankees were needing as long as they get these, errors down. But we'll see. We shall see. I see the Mets lost, and the Guardians have now won 6 of the last 7. So watch out. Cleveland's out there. So outside of that, thank you for listening. Bye.